Welcome back, guys, and thanks for stopping by to everybody that's new here. My name is Sam, and here at Mating Magic, today we're going to have an awesome little video for you about a little infield. So it's going to be a breakdown on an indirect interaction that we had, and it's going to be me and Lucas sitting down, talking about it, and describing why it works so well, and the differences a little bit between the direct and the indirect opener style of game. Also, guys, make sure to stay tuned between the next couple of weeks. We have some great new content coming out for you guys. We're working really hard to put it out for you. In the meantime, let's get into the video.
So, essentially, there are actually two ways that you can approach a girl, and they're direct and indirect. Direct, we're going to talk about next week, but essentially, direct is very high risk, high reward, and it could be a yes or a no. And again, we're going to tap into it another time. But there's a really good quote that one of my best friend's dads told me. He was like, once a girl finds out what your intentions are, it's over from the start. Meaning, it's over, it could be in two ways. It's over like, yes, she likes you, so it's over. Or it's over like, no. Indirect kind of gives you a chance to never mind all that and give you a chance to show your personality and stuff like that. So I'm going to touch on about 3 key points of indirect approaches so that we can talk about. The first one is mindsets and actual concepts of what an indirect approach is. What do you think?
Well, I like what you're saying and where this is going. I think for the most part, the best way when it comes to when you're more advanced at this stuff is going to be your indirect game. Just because it just gives you more of an opportunity for a girl, like you said before, to really see your personality. You know, it's going to give you a chance to actually build a lot of like cool connections with a group versus, you know, just going straight after like that one girl in the group and trying to isolate it. It's not really going to work. So if you go into the group with good attitude, good tonality, and really good body language too, and you're just having fun with it, you can ask them questions like, you know, situational openers. You can just start with anything as long as you're not directly saying, oh, you're hot, oh, you're cute. You know, they're going to like you. And if the group likes you, then from there you can move on and transition into, you know, isolating with the girl, building a lot of rapport, talking one-on-one, and doing all that fun stuff.
So, indirect serves really well, like he said, to convey your personality before anyone makes any decisions, and then you influence that decision based on how you are behaving. And if you're being fun and you don't really care what people think and you're having a good time, they're going to like you. So it's better for using indirect for a group of 2 or 3 girls or more. That way, if you open one girl and she's in a group of 3, as soon as you start talking to that one girl, her friends are going to get really defensive, or they're going to want to pull her off. Emotions are running high, so they're going to want to just get her out of there. So we hear this a lot. It's like, we used to hear this a lot when we did direct. It was like, I'm her girlfriend. This is my girlfriend. Go away and stuff like that. And we're just like, what's happening? We just said hi. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it was very crazy. Yeah. Or like you'll be talking to a girl and her friend will come out of nowhere and just grab her, and you'll be like, whoa, where did that come from? And you didn't really get a chance to do much. So indirect kind of gives you some more leeway to play around with that stuff. So we're gonna crack into this video. In a sec, you're going to see one of my indirect openers that I actually created and came up with. And remember, it's not about what you say, it's about how you say it. So let's crack into the video, and then we'll break it down some more.
Okay, so I actually have to go. I don't have a lot of time. But I want to ask you guys a question real quick. Are you guys born here, like American?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a real serious question. Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon?
Are those 2 different channels? Nickelodeon.
Yes. Oh, what are you, like a cave woman?
Obviously Nickelodeon.
You just said Nickelodeon too?
I like Nickelodeon.
Why? Because like SpongeBob?
Cartoon Network is too like old school. I don't watch that stuff anymore.
You watch Disney Channel?
I love Disney Channel. Well, like I used to.
It's your favorite show?
Yeah, I still watch certain stuff.
So what you saw there was me approaching 2 girls. And we actually got really lucky with the shot. He actually recorded it, and it was very up close, very personal, very good. And I didn't notice the whole time, which was like freaking wonderful. But what you saw me do there was like I walked up to them and I was like, hey, I have a question. I just said something about like, are you guys American? I just want to make sure that they speak English because sometimes people don't. And then they were like, okay, like what's going on? And I was like, I have a question. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, it's a very serious question. And kind of leave space usually to see how girls are reacting to you. That way you know how to behave as well. And then I was like, Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon. And when
Talk
I
about your body language.
Yeah. In a sec. So what happened when I did that was they got really quiet. So what I did was I did this thing where I was like, "It's okay to talk," and I just went, "Come on, like it's okay." And then they were like, "Oh, Nickelodeon," and one of them was like said something, and I was just like, "Oh, what are you, like a cave woman?" You know. So yeah, that's kind of like the mindset you need to have for that when you open. It kind of should be non-reactive and carefree. Like, it should just be like whatever, whether you're a spot or not. That's what I'm like. Go ahead, it's fine. You know, I'm not expecting you to say whatever. But just have a good time. And we're talking about cartoons in a bit. You're gonna see. So what he said about body language brings us to our second point of how your body language should be when you approach women in an indirect way. You should never be facing them completely. If you notice, as soon as I open, he pointed this out and we talked about it, is I'm pointing away from them and my body isn't, if they're here, I'm kind of like this. So I look like I have to go. So I'm not going to sit here and talk their ears off. I just have a question. So I'm like, hey, I really have to go. So blah, 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 blah. And essentially, it's like my favorite word. Body language and communication, the way it works, I believe it's something like 20% of communication is verbal, 30% is tonality, and the rest, which is like, I'm not good at math, but whatever the rest is, like 40, 50%, is all body language. So if they see me pointing away and not facing them, they're gonna be like, okay, he's saying he has to leave, and he's also look like he has to leave, which we call a false time constraint. So it allows them to stay. And then usually when you're doing direct, you want to kind of be like, oh, I'm about to go, until they start getting interest, and then you point your body towards them so that you can have the conversation.
Right, yeah. So the points that he mentioned, they're really good so far. Essentially, he came in, carefree, non-reactive attitude. The body language thing, that's really good for indirect game, because you're not just like pretending to be indirect, you're actually showing that you're being indirect. And of course, I'm sure if you follow this stuff, you know that girls are much more in tune with the vibe, the setting, the way people's bodies react more than us guys are. We're stupid, we're cavemen, all we see is a hot girl, and we get tunnel vision, Yeah. So we like to help people get out of that and notice the everything else along with an interaction. Which is why this indirect method right here works really great, because now they're hooked, now they're engaging, now they're getting involved, and they're starting to invest just a little bit, because now they're talking about cartoons from their childhood. They're kind of like getting to feel like, oh my God, I used to be a kid. Yeah, I used to have fun. Yeah, and not everyone's a stuck-up person. Yeah. Everyone used to be a kid at one point. Everyone likes to have fun. Yeah, so that's why this stuff works, and it's a great opener just because of that stuff. It brings people into that mindset.
Right. So that was the second point, body language. Now we're gonna head up to the third point, which is gonna be how to transition after you do all this stuff. It's like, how do you move on to actually talking to the girl you want to talk to, and how to act after that. So we're gonna crack into the video one more time. We're gonna take a look at what I do, and then we're gonna break it down. Okay? Let's do it.
You guys do anything like fun or interesting?
Like what? Like that?
Anything cool?
No, not really.
It turned the yellow.
That's your mom?
Guess how old she is?
Bro, Danny, come here. Look at this. Okay, how old do they look?
17. 17.
No, 22.
What? Okay. Yeah,
So yeah,
I mean, yours is more realistic than his. You said 15.
She's Colombian, so I hate her life. I hate her as a
Can you
person.
guess?
Look, she looks maybe like 28, 29.
She's 56.
you got a nice shape.
I'm sorry?
56.
So okay.
You know, if I had a
When
job,
were, like, how old was she when she had you?
good right now.
I think like 26.
Where are you from? Do you have a cool ethnicity?
Polish and Italian.
That's dangerous. So you can cook but fuck people up at the same time. That's scary. Have you ever had a boyfriend before?
I have one, yeah, 5 years.
At this point, I've been in the conversation for a few minutes now, maybe like 5 minutes or 2 or 3 or something like that. And we were talking about cartoons the whole time, which it brings the point that it doesn't really matter what you're talking about. We talked about cartoons, and now she wants to show me a picture of her mom for whatever reason. So in my mind, this is a little bit more advanced, but I wanted to talk to this girl one-on-one, and I wanted to start showing intent and that I liked her.
The one on the left.
Yeah, the one on the left. I wasn't really interested on the one on the right, but we had to keep her entertained. So my wing, Daniel, is actually sitting down. Daniel from Mating Magic, The Wiz. He was sitting there, so I looked for any excuse. So she was like, "Look at this picture of my mom." And as soon as she did that, I was like, boom, thinking right on the spot. I was like, "Oh my God, Daniel, come look at this, come look at this. Oh my God." And he was like, "What's up?" And he came, and at that point, he didn't know which girl I wanted. So again, thinking on the fly, I know the girl on the right is Colombian, and we have like a gag where I hate Colombians because like they're crazy and they'll ruin your life. So what I did was I was just like, "I hate this girl's life. Watch out." Yeah, she's like, "Not for me." We wouldn't get along. I don't like her type stuff. And so now I'm talking to the girl on the left. And what's happening there is I want to build a little bit more rapport, and I do something that we call locking in, and he can explain what locking in is essentially.
Yeah. So when you lock in with a girl, essentially what he does in the video, it's really cool. So he goes behind her, and while still grabbing her attention, which means she's like, okay, now I have to face this way. So now he's locked in, which is essentially just leaning against the post, remaining confident, having a good body posture, good body language, and allowing the girl to kind of lean into you. Now, what that does is it lets her chase after you in a physical way, which also translates into a psychological thing where she's now trying to chase you as well and trying to get your validation just because of the way her body is going in and out like that. So it creates that kind of tension, which is really good for building a ton of rapport and getting the girl to really just build like a really good connection with her. And the second thing it does is it also allows other girls in the area, if they're if you're in a busy spot and there's other cute girls walking around, they can see you with this girl. And in the future, let's say you want to talk to another cute girl. If this one doesn't work out, you can go talk to her later on because the first girl already did all the hard work. Now, I know a lot of you guys are probably saying like, "Oh my God, but I'm so afraid. What if people are looking at me?" This is actually really good because if people seeing you are, in public, for example, in a public space, and you're locked in, like looking very confident, and the girl's talking to you, it's actually a very good thing for everyone around you. People don't really care what you're doing, but if it's a good thing, it's even better for the girls around you. That's all.
So you're gonna see me lock in, and I'm gonna be sitting back, and those things that he was talking about are gonna be into play. And then I asked her some kind of question, or we talk about something, and she said something to me, and I reward her with a high five. And it basically, at this point, she came in, she locked in, so I'm rewarding her for her good behavior and everything that was happening. So.
And then she shows that she actually liked you.
She shows what we call an indicator of interest. So she literally laughs, she's like chuckling, and she's just like flips her hair from the right side and then the left side, which is a sign that she's actually into what's going on. And now we have a one-on-one conversation, and we build some rapport off that. And yeah, that's essentially like what an indirect opening is. So we talked about the mindsets and the concepts. We talked about the body language in this video, and then we talked about how to transition. So the transition was pretty much me bringing in Daniel and going from the whole cartoon stuff to finding a way to make it a one-on-one conversation with a girl that I want. And thankfully, I had Daniel there to help me out. So once again, we're going to leave you guys with the clip. You're going to see the rest of the interaction. Take a look. You're going to enjoy it. And thank you guys for tuning in and all that good
Absolutely.
stuff. Yeah.
Hey guys, so be tuned for the next couple of weeks. Videos are going to be coming out every week from now on. Next week is going to be a video involving me, which is going to be a series of direct openers. So you're going to get kind of both sides of the spectrum. Really easy to understand, easy to break down. We're going to do another format similar to this. And if you guys are enjoying the content, please remember to subscribe, drop a like, and we'll see you in the next one. Yeah. Peace.
I want to travel the world. I'm very passionate about teaching. So I want to go from like country to country on tours and stuff like that and help. We started a company together.
You too?
Yeah, we have our own company. And then I want to teach dance as well. Do you have Instagram?
I don't.
I'm sorry, what?
I don't.
Well,
I'm so involved in school that like I can't be distracted.
Right.
Yeah, it's like full time and I don't really have time for it.
That's crazy. But have you had it before?
Yeah, I had it I think I deleted it in like 2 years ago. My Instagram, yeah.
And you never got it back? Wow.
Not interested. I think social media is overrated, honestly.
You know what's your name again? I'm sorry? Lucas. I find that people now that deal with social media aren't in touch with the world or themselves as much as they should be. They get like external validation, and it makes them very odd with people.
Yeah, they like all care about like just what everyone looks like on social media, and they're just like toxic. Everything on social media is like toxic to me.
You know what I thought, right?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna be like kind of bitchy and mean and like boring.
Everyone says that.
But you're actually pretty cool.